All right, well, I got all the fender pan and everything taken off, and it's dirty, very dirty. I still got to take the gas tank off. It's just those two bolts on either side, and I can lift the gas tank up and see what the transaxle look like. Definitely identified a rock shaft problem with our deck. It looks like this rock shaft is in a very different position than that rock shaft over there. If you can see, this one is about level, and then if you walk over here and you look, this one is nowhere near close to level. So I will have to figure out how to fix that. But yeah, I'm going to work on getting this off. I've only got about 15 minutes left on the camera video card, and I broke my micro SD adapter, so I can't delete anything off this card except from the camera. So we're just gonna have to do with this on 15 minutes of video or less. So let me take this off, and I'll get the gas tank pulled up, and I'll go ahead and rinse it down real quick, take a couple pictures and everything, maybe throw those in there, and we'll go from there. All right, well, it's a little bit cleaner. Actually, it's a whole lot cleaner. I don't know, spent probably 45 minutes working on it. Pushed it back here. Let's see if it fires up. Hey, there we go. So overall, I'm really happy how it cleaned up. So now it's just a matter of I'll let it sit here for a couple hours and dry, and then start putting it back together. While it's drying, I might see if I can try to tackle this small issue right here. What it appears as though there's something broken right there. I need to just take this part off right there, so I think I might try to do that. Let me go get an impact and see what I can come up with. All right, let's see here. I'm just going to put you right there so you can kind of watch me do this. I'm going to see if I can get this with a ratchet first. Oh, hey, I guessed right on the... Oh, that was easy and anticlimactic. So 15 millimeter socket, and we're just going to go ahead and drop the draft arm here. So that one is bent. Let's see what the problem is. I think I know what the problem is. I think that just wasn't square on the shaft. Something like that. Let me go look at the other side. Let me see, because this right here fell out of it. I'm not exactly sure what is that is for. Looking over at the other side, oh, there is a washer in there. Okay, so it looks like this washer just kind of ate itself. I don't think I have anything close to that size. Let me go see if I can find something close to that, or I can go borrow it off that X585. So let me go see what I can find. All right, so what I've done is I actually had some very similar washers. They weren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they should get the job done. And then what we're going to do is just come in here. That's not going to be perfect anymore. In fact, what I'm going to do, because these are thinner washers, and so I needed 4, we're going to see if we can't create some space there and get this nice and snugged down. Because if this is all it's required to fix this rock shaft, that'll be very, very nice. And maybe, just maybe, if I get my button gear today, I can actually mow with this thing late this afternoon. Okay, now Now that should be considerably better. Now what it doesn't stop is it doesn't stop the fact that I've got bent hangers, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. Let me go see what I've got left on that. Well, okay, I'll back up real quick. So I opted to use these because they were thinner, because there is some damage to this shaft. What I would have normally done if there wasn't damage to that square shaft on there, I would have just replaced it with the washer off that X485. But since that X485 has a regular washer and there's that damage, I wanted to make sure I had a good as seat as possible so this right here didn't move. So I took 2 of those washers out, so effectively I'm half the height that I was. I don't think that will present any problems for the mower deck or anything else, but to make sure that this arm right here has a little bit better grab on the shaft than it would have with the regular washer on there. What I am going to do though is I'm going to go see what I've got left on that X485, see if I have some deck hangers, because this one's bent and the other one's fine, but I'll go see if I got any deck hangers. All right, well, I didn't video it because I didn't think it was going to work, but after about working on it for about 10 minutes, I was able to actually bend this back to where it will thread on all the way, just like this. So the threads are nice and clean. I did not expect it to bend back like this. I did not have a spare one of these, and you know, basically it'd be, if I ordered it right now, it'd probably be 3 or 4 weeks before I got it, based on parts availability that I've experienced recently. So now it's just a matter of matching this height up. We're still going to have to adjust the deck, but I think I can match this height up to the other side and we'll be at least halfway close. So I'm going to do that. It's just a matter of taking the other one off and then making sure this one matches. This is in good shape. So now it's just a matter of putting this thing back together so we can try to mow with it. All right, so it's a couple hours later and this thing should be dry, but obviously that is a puddle. As I mentioned earlier in this video, when we got it running decently well, or maybe that was the previous video, I was saying when we clean it, we'll be able to see where the leak is at. And if you look on the side of the engine block there and you go up, and it's basically up right in there underneath the water pump. So looks like I'm going to have to take the front of the, or at least the muffler and everything else off so I can get to the water pump and replace it. Now, one thing that I'm going to consider, and I'll be bluntly honest, is I have to look up the cost of a water pump and everything that entails in replacing a water pump and see if that is financially viable. In the meantime, since the water pump is leaking, we're obviously not going to put the deck back on it anytime soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the 3-point off. Now, because this is a X585, the lift cylinder was never located up forward under the machine. It was always located in the back, and there was always a rock shaft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go steal the rock shaft off that X485 so I can take the 3-point off of this machine. So let me go do that, and we'll come back and I'll show you just how you take the 3-point off, and reverse would be reverse of that would be installing the 3-point. All right, so this will be an abbreviated video because I only got about 5 minutes of memory card left. Here's the rock shaft off of that X485. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shield off here, and then I'm going to take this bolt off right here. This bolt holds the lift cylinder to the rock shaft. So once I take this off, I could then take the rock shaft out by removing that snap ring right there and then pulling these spacers out, similar to these spacers. They're just a little bit larger. Pulling that spacer out and then basically kind of angling it out. I will also need to remove these nuts right here on these carriage bolts for this plate. There are 2 plates. There's 4 bolts per plate, You can see this plate right here. You need that for the 3-point. So let me get busy doing that, and we will go from there. So I loosened up this bolt. This sometimes can be the worst part. That stack of washers right there is because of some original designs that Deere made that I don't want to necessarily get into right now. But then you take the snap rings off. Like that. And you do the other side. And what you can do is you can pull these bushings out. And then the last thing I have to do is I have to release our holding mechanism. So let me do that. When you're doing this, be careful not to lose any of the nuts or bolts. Because they will just fall out of there. Alright, so now what we can do, as soon as I get normally it just pops right out. Let me work on it some. No, I figured it out. It was just hung up. So then you take the whole rock shaft assembly out. And now what we can do, before we lose too many parts, we can go ahead and put this rock shaft in. And then all I have left to do is take these brackets down here off, which is fairly simple. So right there. If you're buying one of these machines, either new or used, really think about, sometimes obviously a dealer will set it up for you, but if you think you can do stuff like this on your own, do it. I mean, this is not that hard at all. And so then you just take and you put the snap rings back on. And then hook the mower deck draft arm back up, so it looks like